fat, right? The southern hemisphere is entering summer. Here in Chicago, we're entering winter, and it's not going to be a fun time. But a lot of people in the southern hemisphere are entering their summer season and are going to be looking to lose body fat. Now, when it comes to that, do you have any hacks or fail-proof plans and approaches for fat loss and maximizing fat loss?
Yeah, I feel you. Being in Sweden, it's dark at like 4 p.m. now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what it's going to be rough. But yeah, the fat loss, I think it probably comes down to really what you're comfortable doing, I think. So, we're talking about individualization. So I'll give a little tip on something that I find really helpful for myself. I'm not someone who's like super patient with fat loss. So I actually go with pretty big deficits for myself.
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is because I find it really motivating. So if I'm like in the zone with a deficit, and yeah, okay, I feel hungry and stuff, but I'm kind of like, I'm in the zone. I am dieting now.
Yeah.
And I can see quite rapid changes, then that feels really motivating to me. So typically what you'll find is like the approach is either a little bit more of a moderate deficit, maybe something like 20 or 25%, and you do that for a longer period of time. Okay, more sustainable, awesome, might suit some people. Other people like me might prefer a more aggressive approach. And I typically actually do like a 40, sometimes even a 50% deficit for myself, which is like pretty big. Yeah. But it doesn't have to last that long then. So what I find is really helpful for myself is like, if I want to get shredded, it doesn't take me that long because I go really super hard to start with, but I make sure I'm on point with, my sleep and my stress management and all that sort of stuff. I don't run it for very long, maybe sort of 3 weeks. And then I transition to something that's a bit more sustainable from there. Gotcha. And just that little kickstart can be really, really motivating. And we actually see this in research as well. For some people, in fact, for most people, obviously it doesn't apply to everyone.
Yeah.
Having a faster initial weight loss period can mean better longer term results.
Yeah.
Because they get more motivated by seeing those results early on. And so I have had some clients myself where I've come in and gone, listen, you've got whatever, you got like 30 pounds to lose. That's going to take you some time. So we're going to have to be dieting for like 6 months or 9 months or whatever it is. And to hear that as a client, you're like, okay, like I know it's going to be a bit of a long time, but that's such a slog and that can be really difficult to stay motivated day to day. But if we can get a rapid initial fat loss and then go, cool, we'll just transition to something more sustainable from there, then that can be a really nice way of doing things. And so that might be something that works quite well for everybody in the Southern Hemisphere. I know like, especially in Australia, like January tends to be kind of the hottest month. So you kind of go through your little Christmas period and then it's like, sweet, I can hit January to start. I can get a couple of weeks, maybe drop a couple of kilos and then transition into something a bit more sustainable.